All right, I'll start with my prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shrivatupad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्ता वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमा ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णा प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांता स्वामी नित्य नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to the morning Srimad Bhagavatam reading today. So today we are reading from uh, fourth canto, chapter 4, verse number 3. So let me share my screen and we will. All right, I'll read the verses, the synonyms, translation, and purport, and then we will briefly discuss the verse. ततो विनिश्वस्य सती विहाय शोकेन रोषेण च दूयता हरिता पित्रोरगात् स्त्रेण विमूढ धीर्गृहान् प्रेम्णात्मनो यो अरिद्धम् अदात् सतां प्रियः. Synonyms or the word-to-word meanings. Tata, then, Vinishwasya, breathing very heavily, Sati, Vihaya, leaving, Tam, him, Lord Shiva, Shokena, by bereavement, Roshena, by anger, Cha, and Duyata, afflicted, Rida, with the heart, Pitro, of her father, Agat, she went, Straina, by her womanly nature, Vimudha, deluded, Dhiha, intelligence, Grihan, to the house, Premna, due to affection, Atmanaha, of his body, Yaha, who, Ardham, half, Adat, gave, Satam, to the saintly, Priyaha, dear. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Thereafter, Sati left her husband, Lord Shiva, who had given her half his body due to affection. Breathing very heavily because of anger and bereavement, she went to the house of her father. This less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. Purport. According to the Vedic conception of family life, the husband gives half his body to his wife, and the wife gives half of her body to her husband. In other words, a husband without a wife or a wife without a husband is incomplete. Vedic marital relationship existed between Lord Shiva and Sati, but sometimes due to weakness, a woman becomes very much attracted by the members of her father's house, and this happened to Sati. In this verse, it is specifically mentioned that she wanted to leave such a great husband as Shiva because of her womanly weakness. In other words, womanly weakness exists even in the relationship between husband and wife. Generally, separation between husband and wife is due to womanly behavior. Divorce takes place due to womanly weakness. The best course for a woman is to abide by the orders of her husband. That makes family life very peaceful. Sometimes there may be misunderstandings between husband and wife, as found even in such an elevated family relationship as that of Sati and Lord Shiva. But a wife should not leave her husband's protection because of such a misunderstanding. If she does so, it is understood to be due to her womanly weakness. Okay, so we'll discuss the verse and the purport. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadadi Swapadantikam. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within the material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Okay, so the context here is that there is a yagna being performed by the father of Sati, Daksha, and they were not invited. The everyone, like many in the universal affairs, were invited to that yagna. It was a big event, but specifically Lord Shiva and Sati were not invited. And knowing that this is happening at her father's house, she wanted to go. And here in this verse, it is clearly mentioned that it was out of her affection for her father's side, family members. So, looking, if reading the purport, a few points are clear or strike out that Srila Prabhupada talks about. The first point he talks about is how closely the husband and wife are integrated with each other in the family life, specifically mentioning that the husband gives half his body to his wife and the wife gives half of her body to the husband. So that means that they are integrated and they live the family life together, do everything together. And then the second point that he brings out, he stresses on, is the weakness of a woman, and womanly weakness he uh, brings out a few times, like womanly weakness, or womanly behavior. So in general, we see that between a man and a woman, the woman is more emotional, and it is required to be. Uh, Emotions are required to maintain the family. In a Vedic culture, the husband goes out and earns money and maintains the family, and the wife is in charge of bringing up the children, keeping the family integrated together, uh, keeping the family happy. And for this function, it is required for emotions to be present. Without that, those emotions, they are not present. The function cannot be uh, performed. However, it's a little bit, especially in the Western world, a controversial topic. So, uh, but because it is mentioned here in Srimad Bhagavatam, very clearly it is said. So there is no, it's not a discrimination, as some people will point out that the woman is being discriminated. Here it's clearly says that agat strena vimudha dhir grihan, and that Bhagavatam itself is saying that the stree, or the wife, has a weaker heart out of emotions. So it is it is required for the function. The wife is more attached to the family. Wife is also attached to her family, the father, mother, brothers, sisters. And this is happening with Mother Sita as well. So she is attached to the her husband, obviously, Lord Shiva, but she is also attached to her father, Daksha. And out of that attachment is taking over. And even though they were not invited, she decided to go to the ceremony against the will of her husband, Lord Shiva. Yeah, so mainly these two are the main points here in the purport that I feel like Srila Prabhupada has brought out. The first one being husband and wife are very much integrated together. Husband gives half his body, and wife gives her half body to the husband. That basically means that they are integrated and they do everything together. So if she's to go to the ceremony yagna, both of them should go, or none of them should go, based on the whatever the decision they take together. And second point is rest of the purport. Srila Prabhupada is talking about the womanly weakness, and we briefly discussed about it. The weakness is out of emotions, attachments, and those attachments and emotions are required to maintain the loving relationships between the family members. But that can also become an impediment, like in this case, impediment to the family relationship. So, looking at this, the in chapter 2, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about this attachment, sangat sanjayate kama. So in 2.62, Krishna says, while contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, And from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. So, Sangat Sanjayata Kama, meaning the attachments are developed due to the contact with the senses in the sangats, meaning the sangha. So in this case, for example, um, Mother Sati, she is attached to her father, her matter, her parents, and she is attached to her husband as well, Lord Shiva. But that attachment develops due to the sangha. Sangha means they obviously they are living together. She used to live with them, so the attachment is there. Now she is living with Lord Shiva, so the attachment is there. But that attachment then develops into lust, and then lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. And then in text 63, the next verse, Krishna says, from anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. So we will see in this pastime of Lord Shiva and Sati that this exact sequence is going to happen. Mother Sati will go to her father's place, Daksha, out of the attachment that she has. And from that attachment, lust has developed. Lust, in the sense, wanting to be with the family members, uh, the feeling of false ego, why were we not invited? So, all of that is a form of lust. And when that is not satisfied, when she will see that Daksha will insult her husband, then anger arises. And from anger, we will see in the story that complete delusion will happen, like amazing drama between the cursing and counter cursing and killing and all of that will happen. Delusion, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. The memory is lost in the sense that in memory, and then followed by that intelligence is lost, because obviously, why would somebody go to such an extent if the intelligence is there? And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. We'll see that Daksha ends up having he will lose his life, but again gets it back with a different head. So this whole sequence is going to happen in this pastime of Lord Shiva and Mother Sati. Prabhupada also gives the solution. The best course for a woman is to abide by the orders of her husband. That makes family life very peaceful. Sometimes there may be misunderstandings between the husband and wife, as found even in such an elevated family relationship as that of Sati and Lord Shiva. But a wife should not leave her husband's protection because of such a misunderstanding. If she does so, it is understood to be due to her womanly weakness. In this case, particularly, it is true because Lord Shiva is a very elevated person. He is a completely Krishna conscious person. In general, in the world that we are living in, it can become a sensitive topic. Um, some between a husband and a wife. But in general, we can say that both husband and wife need to maintain their uh, relationship, give that as a priority. Here, Srila Prabhupada is specifically talking about the wife listening to her husband and staying under the protection, and that's the Vedic culture. And if that is maintained, then the peace in the family life is also maintained. So I'll stop here. The quick summary is that in this verse 4.4.3 Srimad Bhagavatam, it's Sati has decided to leave her husband, Lord Shiva, and it is mentioned who had given her his half his body due to affection. And Sati goes to her father's house, Daksha, and this act is being considered as a less intelligent act due to being a weak woman. And we discussed that there are 2 points to be brought out from the purport. The first one is the husband gives half his body to wife, and wife gives half her body to the husband, meaning that they live a very integrated life. They take decisions together, do everything together. That is the Vedic style of family life. And the second point is about the womanly weakness that Srila Prabhupada brings out, and how the womanly weakness becomes the cause of different problems. And that womanly weakness is mainly due to the attachment, different types of attachments with the husband, children, uh, the parents, sister, brother, etc. And because of those attachments, that womanly weakness translates into some misunderstandings and problems in life, and it can go to a, if not controlled properly, it can go to a such an extent as divorce, like Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here. And the best way to live happily in a family life is maintaining the relationship between husband and wife, and the wife staying in the protection of her husband. Protection of the husband does not mean that always listen, but work out the situations. If the husband's decision is not correct, work it out with the husband, talk it out, and based on the scriptures, based on the authorities, guidance, spiritual master, etc. So I'll stop here and see if there are any questions or discussions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. I mean, quick thing. I was just thinking when the verse and the purport was Prabhupada was talking about women and men, right? So I was just thinking at that stage of Sati and Lord Shiva. I mean, of course, not Lord Shiva is not on that platform, but I think even the verse and the purport also Prabhupada we are keep talking about Sati is on the. I mean, of course, he's in a woman's body. That I was just thinking that intelligence being less, right? I mean, I know multiple times Prabhupada also mentioned that yeah, it is on the spiritual platform. There is nothing called woman and man, right? Because the soul is the soul. So how do we understand that from that Mother Sati being such a great elevated personality, being the woman's body acting in this way?
Yeah, there are generally like His Holiness Ramapad Swami Maharaj would usually answer this question by saying that this is a pastime, but also it's a pastime for our understanding. And yes, they are elevated persons, but we can clearly see here that she is attached. If they are at a completely Krishna conscious or spiritual level, then there would not be these type of material attachments. And because there is these type of material attachments, the phrases like less intelligent act and being in a woman's body and womanly weakness is coming to picture again. So this is a pastime for us to take lessons from, but also the reason is because the attachments were present. We can say that she was not at completely at a highly elevated spiritual position from the symptoms. We can say that. That's how I would like to answer.
Mm, thank you.
Thank you very much. Please have a good rest of your day, and we'll stop here. Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo